What's up, everybody? We are live tonight, me and Kelton, to talk about UFC Brooklyn, our plays and predictions. And yes, we're a week away, but we had a long break, and we just wanted to talk about these fights. We are two fights, they got two fights short because Lineker pulled, got hurt, and I believe that Kutalaba pulled as well. But those two fights, they might. I think Sandhagen and Glover might find late replacements. We'll talk about it like in the timestamps, obviously. I'll put our picks down if they ever happen, but. Kelton, how do you like this card, and how are you?
Man, I'm great. I'm ready to start 2019 off with a bang. I got my new headset. Hopefully, I sound good to you guys. Hopefully, I'm not too loud. Let me know if I'm too loud. Yeah, I got three plays for this card. I'm super psyched for it. I'm glad we're getting it out early. We're probably one of the first people to get out the breakdown for this card, right? Maybe Will's up there. Will's an early bird.
I don't think Will's done. I think the first person that's done it is
Guru.
Pro MMA betting. I think he's I think he's pretty new to YouTube, but he's a pretty good bettor for sure.
Guru's pretty quick. But yeah, shout out to those guys. Go follow those guys, Will Martin and Guru. Those are two good YouTubers there.
Yeah, they are. I'm sure they'll be on our show in the future.
I'm ready for this card, bro. Let's fucking do it.
Yeah, man. Before we go, I had a bet on Sandhagen, but Lineker pulled, so I might have dodged a bullet. Who knows? I was pretty confident in Sandhagen, even though he was fighting the top 10 guy. But it is what it is. So first fight of the night, man, we got Randy Brown versus Chance Rencountre. Now I'm gonna let you start off because I believe that you have a max bet on the line.
I do not have a max bet, actually. I have a 4-unit play.
Okay, not bad.
Yeah, man. First fight of the night, first play of the night, first play of the year. We got Randy Rude Brown taking on Chance Rencountre, and basically, man, I really like the spot for Randy Brown. I think he's a lot more athletic. I think he has the much better striking, the better fundamentals. Probably trains with the better guys. And really, if you look at his UFC record, he's taken a couple losses. Everybody that Randy Brown has lost to in the UFC has a winning UFC record. Michael Graves, whatever you want to say about him, he's not in the UFC anymore. Still a legitimately talented, really stud wrestler. Belal Muhammad, we'll be talking about him in a little bit. Belal Muhammad has a very good UFC record, and he's a good fighter. And I know me and you are both fading him on this card, but he's definitely a guy that you have to take seriously. He's a very good fighter. And then the last one, Nico Price, man. Like, a lot of people will talk about that Nico Price KO being sketchy, and yeah, it's a little sketchy, and I guess that's why Randy Brown is minus 250 and not minus 350 because of that last fight. But again, Nico Price is a very well-rounded, athletic, powerful guy with a winning UFC record. You think Chase Rencountre would go out there and knock out Alan Jouban? I don't think so at all, man. I think when you look at Randy Brown's wins now, like the Mickey Gulls, the Brian Camozzi's, Eric Montaños, Matt Dwyer's, I honestly rank Chance around those guys' level rather than Nico, Belal, and Michael Graves' level. I think there's levels to this game. I think Randy Brown's got him beat in most aspects. I think it should be around minus 350. That's just me personally. I think he pieces up Chance on the feet. If Chance lands takedowns, it might get a little sketchy, but hey, I think we got him beat in all areas of the game. So I'm pretty confident in Randy Brown, and I think he goes out there and gets a second-round TKO.
So, yeah, I'm actually going the other way. I'm not betting it, but I do think that Chance would win this fight. I hope you cash, obviously, because I'm not playing it, but I might play him on DraftKings. We'll see where his salary is. But, yeah, man, you're right. Randy Brown is definitely better in most aspects. I think Chance has the better chin. Randy Brown really hasn't been that chinny in the past, but that Nico Price KO, man, I mean, it's 5 months ago, and I mean, those are some pretty big shots, man, those hammer fists. So, I mean, we'll see how his, chin holds up here. I do think that Chance has some pretty good weight kicks, and, Belal was definitely, that's how Belal won the fight, man, with those weight kicks for sure against Randy Brown. And I think Chance could definitely land some weight kicks. They're both really big 170, kind of like 170s. Like, I think the size is really close. Brown definitely is more athletic. He's more fast for sure. He's definitely going to be maybe more muscular, but Chance is pretty big too, man. Chance is a really big 170. But I do think Chance might actually be able to take him down. Brown's been taken down in all of his fights, I think, besides one. And I think most of the opponents, took his back as well, man. And Chance, has pretty good grappling too. I know he has 2 wins by sub, but they're pretty recent. And obviously Brown's fought in the better competition. Chance hasn't really beaten, I guess anyone impressive. I think the best person Brown's probably beaten is probably Mickey Gall. Who do you think the best person he's beaten? Probably Mickey Gall, right?
Probably, or yeah, probably Mickey Go. Matt Dwyer.
Yeah, I think Chance would beat Matt Dwyer. But yeah, about the matchup, I do think that Brown's a better striker. I do think that he, like I just mentioned, he's faster. But I think it could be an ugly fight. I think he can actually go all 3 rounds, man. I think Chance is going to win the split. I think Chance is going to throw a little more volume out there, and Chance hurt Belal on the feet too, man. So I know, Belal is. We'll talk about Belal in a little bit. Belal's a really good fighter. We'll talk about him next fight. But I just see this fight being hairy. One thing about Randy Brown is he has bad fight IQ, man. Just I don't know what it is with him, man. Like the Nico Price fight, I actually bet Nico Price. I was sweating because I think Randy Brown's winning that fight, and then obviously, I mean, that whole KO loss is kind of that's kind of crazy, man, to be honest. But then against Montano, I mean, that was 2-0 Montano. I think Montano was winning that whole fight until he got tapped out. So I do think Brown has a lot of potential. There's just something with him, man. Like with his fight IQ, like he's like something with mental, man. So I think he's the better fighter. I just think that Chance is going to edge out a split, man, just because Randy Brown doesn't have the best fight IQ. I think Brown might try to go for a takedown. And one thing about Chance, he has a good get-up game. Like Belal couldn't even hold him down; he got right back up. So I don't think Brown's going to be able to take him down. I think Brown does have the advantage on the feet, but his chin could be a question mark because he just got knocked out pretty cold 5 months ago. And I don't think he should try to be shooting here, man, because if he does, I mean, Chance could walk up with Darce, man. Chance has some really big arms, and he hit a nice Darce, man, a couple fights ago. So I'm gonna go Chance by split, but I hope you cash.
Couple more points I want to make. Bouncing off of what you said about Chance Rencountre, you think he would beat Matt Dwyer? I don't think he would beat Matt Dwyer, honestly. I think Matt Dwyer would probably give him problems because my second reasoning, my main point that I kind of forgot to bring up, Chase Rencountre, he comes in super aggressively and kind of just bulls forward. There's not really much technique behind it. I'm gonna coin a term here on UFC Bro Picks. Chance has been fighting a lot of T-Rex arms. He's fighting kind of smaller, outsized guys with not a lot of reach, and now he's coming in here with this, let's be honest, big athletic black dude with about 80 inches of reach, and I think he's going to actually give Chance a lot of problems with that aggressive, not very technical style, man. So, yeah, I like it. I respect your opinion, but I like the Jamaican here a lot.
I will be surprised though if Brown finishes him for sure because Chance is a really good chin, man. The guy's never been finished. Obviously, it's a big step up. I mean, obviously Belal is a better fighter than Brown, but I mean, he hasn't really faced the best competition. But I'll be really surprised if Brown finishes him here. So next fight, man, we both have a plan in this. We got Jeff Neal versus Belal Muhammad, and yeah, man, I got 4 units on Jeff Neal at -150. I believe he's -200 now. And, I got to, say my respect to Belal Muhammad because he is a good fighter. He's on a 4-fight winning streak, against guys like Jordan Mean, Chance Rencountre, a guy we just talked about, Tim Means. And, but yeah, man, I think Belal is a pretty good fighter. He has a lot of volume. He likes to get in your face. He's aggressive. But Jeff Neal is the faster guy, and he has a huge speed advantage here. And I think that's actually one of the big reasons why I'm picking Jeff Neal here. I think he's way too fast for Belal. I think he hits harder than Belal. I think he's more technical. I think he has more power, obviously. He hits like a truck. And I've seen some people on Twitter, kind of shit on me for saying this, but I actually think I'm spot on. I think you are going to agree with me on this too. I think Vicente Luque and Jeff Neal have similar traits on the feet. And if you watch that fight, Vicente Luque versus Belal, he knocked him out in 1 minute. And Jeff Neal, man, has similar striking to Vicente Luque. Razor sharp boxing, a very good left hand, very good right hand, good jab. And you can say Belal has a pretty good chin, but I mean, he has been hurt, I mean, Joban dropped him 3 times in that fight. He has really good cardio, he won the 3rd round, but Joban's a pretty chinny guy, man, Then he went out there and, got knocked out against Luque. He's looked good his last 4 fights, but I mean, I think Jeff Neal would beat all those guys that Belal Muhammad would beat, even Tim Means. Tim Means is not the same guy anymore, man. Tim Means is pretty inconsistent. The guy goes out there and looks really good against Cowboy, and then the rematch looks like a shell of himself. So one thing about Belal, he gets better throughout the fight, so I will be worried if it hits the 3rd round because, Jeff Neal lost to Kevin Holland, in that 3rd round. Kevin Holland, a really good 185er. I think he's going to be a top 15 guy in the future. And Jeff Neal was dominating the whole fight, but then just got tired of the third round. Kevin Holland beat him. That's what my only worry, but I think Jeff Neal's going to finish him either in the first or second round. His striking's too good, I think, for Belal. Belal does have good striking, but he's just going to be the slower guy out there, man. And Belal has good leg kicks too. He does have good grappling, but if you can't even hold down Chance for Rencountre, what makes you think you're going to hold down Jeff Neal, man, who I think has better wrestling? And, guy has trains at Force MMA, one of the best camps out there. And he's training with guys, really good guys, man. So I got to go Jeff Neal here, man. I think he's too athletic. He's too fast for Belal Muhammad. And one thing that me and you have been talking about a lot, Belal gets hit a lot. Like, that's one thing. He's, he relies on his chin, man. You saw what happened to Luque, man, in that fight. I don't see it, man. I don't see him, I don't see him being able to last, man, 3 rounds in this fight. So I'm going to go with Jeff Neal by a first-round knockout here. Belal will be back for sure. He's a good fighter. But I just think that pace and the aggressiveness and that left hand beat from the KO artist and Jeff Neal he's gonna put him away. And you could say that, well, Jeff Neal hasn't fought in, the competition. Like, he hasn't. It's a big step up, man. But I think he's going to rise to the occasion and get a first-round knockout here. What about you?
Man, I don't know if it is that big of a step up. He's been in there with Kevin Holland. Kevin Holland is a serious fighter, but yeah, you make a lot of good points.
I'm talking about the UFC. Sorry, I was talking about the UFC.
Yeah, for sure. You do make a lot of good points, though, man. Belal's a really good fighter. I have a lot of respect for what he's been able to do in the octagon so far with a winning UFC record. He is now 5-2 in the UFC, with his 2 losses being to Luque and Joban. I kind of like that comparison to Luque, and I actually do agree with you that they are somewhat similar with their striking. I would actually go as far to say that Jeff Neal has better striking than Vicente Luque. Vicente Luque might just have a little more power than Jeff Neal, probably. But, man, no, I really like Neal here. Just stylistically is a really good one for him, man, because Belal Muhammad gets hit a lot. You're right. He does kind of rely on that chin, and let's be honest. I mean, he's extremely technical, but he's kind of stiff in there, man. He's just a little too stiff in there for my liking, which kind of shows me. I mean, how far can Belal Muhammad really go in this division? I would say hands down, Jeff Neal probably has the higher ceiling. Belal Muhammad, I mean, let's be real. He's great in his role, but his role, in my opinion, is a top 25 gatekeeper, and it's just a matter of does Jeff Neal have the abilities, the will to be a top 25, even a top 15 UFC fighter? And from what I've seen, man, some of the slickest striking I've seen in a long time. He's in a on fire gym in Fortis MMA. He's got the reach here. In my opinion, he actually, I think he has the size. I mean, I think he might be an inch or two bigger than Belal, but you didn't really talk about that Kevin Holland loss, but I'm not going to make excuses for Jeff Neal, but there's definitely you can give him some slack for it. I mean, that's his real big first step up. He was at a big size disadvantage, and I don't know. There were, I think those two had bad blood going into that fight too, and I think Neal might have fought a little emotionally and didn't really stick to the game plan. But either way, he's made huge improvements. So it sucks to have a lot of money against a fighter as legit as Belal Muhammad, but it's all about the spot. And in this spot, Jeff Neal, there's levels to this game. I think Jeff Neal's top 15 talent, and he's going to break through and get this big win. So I got 5 units, a max bet on Jeff Neal. I got all kinds of odds. I got 3 units at -145. I put another unit on -150, and I put another unit on -160. So, yeah, first 2 fights of the card, I have a 4-unit play and a 5-unit play. Let's go, man. But speaking of that third play, we got it right here. We got Dennis Bermudez, I believe, a -1. I don't have the odds in front of me, but I think he's a -125 favorite.
Yeah.
Tay Edwards +105 underdog. And that's weird, man, that this line hasn't really moved much at all. It's pretty much been that for the past 2 weeks now. But I have 3.5 units on the underdog Tay Edwards in this spot. Really, what it comes down to, I mean, I would say it's mostly a fade on Dennis Bermudez. I do think highly of Tay Edwards. I think he has a lot of potential. I definitely think he's still a little green. I like knowing that he just got that first L out of the way, and I think Don Madge is a pretty good fighter, so I don't give him too much slack for that loss. But back to Dennis, man, Whew, talk about a skid. Like, it's so crazy to remember the days of Dennis Bermudez back on like what his 7 or 8 win streak, something absolutely ridiculous. Dennis was on a tear back in the day, but unfortunately he ran into a guy named Ricardo Lamas, and Ricardo Lamas absolutely ran through Dennis Bermudez. I think that kind of like broke his confidence a little bit, because since then, well, I mean, even including that fight, including the Ricardo Lamas fight, Dennis Bermudez has gone 2 wins, 6 losses in his last 8 fights. I believe he got dropped by Lamas and then submitted, got knocked out by Stevens, got knocked out by Korean Zombie, and then the last 3 fights lost 3 straight split decisions. So even when Dennis Bermudez is able to keep that chin in the air and not fall down to a punch or a kick, or a knee, a flying knee, Jeremy Stevens. Even when he's able to survive those big shots, he's still going out there losing split decisions because he's simply not doing enough in the octagon. This guy is pretty washed up. I question how much he really wants it these days. I feel like 155 pounds is real like career desperation. He's trying to do whatever he can. I guess he thinks if he cuts 10 less pounds, and I don't know. I don't know what his thought process is here, man. But on the other side, you got Tay Edwards, who was on a run, was just slapping everyone until he ran into Don Madge. And people will give him flack for that Don Madge loss, but I know you think this as well as I do. Don Madge is a future, at least top 25, 30 lightweight in the world. I think not only that, like Don Madge is fucking huge for the division. Dennis Bermudez is a little midget. He doesn't belong in the division at all. Don Madge hits like a motherfucking truck, dude. Like, I don't know. I just don't see this going well for Dennis. Like, bad stylistic matchup. We know Tay has that D1 wrestling background, so you know he's got that in his back pocket, and he's winning all his fights with his hands, man. He's knocking people out, and now he's fighting a guy who's a bit chinny, a guy who's been losing split decisions. So, in my opinion, Tay comes in here, stuffs any kind of takedowns, probably knocks out Dennis, but worst case scenario, Dennis survives the big shots. I think we win a split decision. Dennis is out there losing split decisions all day long, and you can say, oh, it's against Andre Feely and Rick Glenn, top 25, top 30 featherweights. But, man, this is up a whole new weight class. And Tay Edwards is, although he may be green, Tay Edwards is like the next generation kind of fighter. Like, do not sleep on him at all. He should 100% not be the underdog here. It is crazy to me. He's going to come out here and knock Dennis Bermudez out. So I have 3.5 units on the underdog. If the line gets better, I'm not opposed to putting even a little bit more on it. So we'll see, man. I love Tay Edwards. He's my third and final play of the night. I'm getting this done early next Saturday night. First 3 fights, only 3 plays. So let's go Tay Edwards.
Yeah, I got Tay Edwards too. The only reason why I'm not betting it is just because I'm not like 100% confident, and because I already had 4 plays, but I have one of them dropped, and I just don't want to force any plays. I've done that before when one of my bets canceled, and I bet someone else and just it backfired on me. So I'm gonna just pass from this fight. But Bermudez is done, in my opinion. He's in a 4-fight losing streak. I think that he's gonna be retiring after this fight. He's not gonna get cut. I don't think they're gonna cut a guy like Bermudez, but I mean he's definitely gonna retire winner. I mean even if he wins this fight, like I don't know, like he's gonna have a future at 155. Like I really doubt it. He's definitely gonna be one of the smallest guys at 155. And like you said, it's career desperation. He doesn't have a good chin at all. He gets hit way too much. One red flag, in Tay Edwards, he just got knocked out a couple months ago. So I mean that's one thing I'm thinking about, but I don't know if Bermudez is gonna take advantage of that. Bermudez, I don't think is going to be able to hurt him on the feet. Bermudez, he likes to take you down, and striking's decent. I don't know, man. I think Tay Edwards is, the faster guy. I think he's more athletic, more explosive. He has D1 wrestling, so I don't think he's going to be able to take him down. Like you mentioned, Don Madge is a really good fighter. I think he's going to be a top 25 guy. Don Madge is good on the ground too. Like when he took down, I think Tay took him down after he got hurt, but he was in trouble on the mat. Don Madge almost had him in an armbar, man. So, or no, triangle. But yeah, I just think Tay Edwards is gonna go out there and get a knockout here. So, I got the more explosive guy. I think Tay Edwards is gonna go out there and finish him either in the first, second round, but he could go all 3, man. Take it with another split because Bermudez is the king of losing split decisions.
I think some money's going to come in on Tay once the weigh-ins happen and people realize that size difference.
Yeah, I feel like Bermudez is home though. He's fighting at home, so a lot of people are probably gonna like bet on Bermudez moving weight.
I think that sharp money will come in on Tay.
You think so? But
We'll
yeah, I
see.
hope you cash. I'm picking, Tay.
That's
I'll probably have him on DraftKings. So next fight, man, we got Alonso Menifield, I believe, versus Vinicius Moreira. He has like two different names or whatever, but anyway, so both these guys are coming out contender series. It's a pretty close fight. Like we both don't obviously agree with the lines at all. Alonso Menifield trained at Forest MMA. Great athlete, really big for the division. Heavy hands, good takedown defense, good striking. I think Daniel Jolly took him down, but he kind of got right back up. Vinicius, he's a good grappler for sure, but if you watch his striking, it's atrocious. Like the guy just does not have good striking at all. That's one huge red flag. He does have a lot of talent on the mat, but he needs to work on his striking. He's not good. He doesn't even really have a good double leg either. The way he gets all of his takedowns are in the clinch, man. So I don't know how he's going to get Menifield down. Like Menifield's a truck. I mean, he could get him down. If he gets him down, I mean, all those Menifield bettors are going to be sweaty because this guy's legit on the mat. But Vinicius is on the feet, man. He's just garbage, and he gets hit way too much. Like he does have a good chin. Like he gets like in these wars, like he takes a lot of punishment, man. And he just walks right through it. He's actually been knocked out once, but I don't think he's chinny. Like the guy like can take a beating for sure. But I just think Menifield's gonna hurt him on the feet, and I just don't think he's gonna be able to get Menifield down. So I'll go with Menifield by a third round TKO. I think it could definitely be a good fight, man. Going back and forth. I mean, maybe Vinicius gets a couple straight trip takedowns in the clinch and can make it a sweat, but I think Alonso's going to win a third round TKO. What about you?
Is it Vinicius or Vinicius?
Oh, it could be Vinicius. I don't know. I said Vinicius. Who knows?
I think it's Vinicius, but I could be wrong. But hey, man, this is actually this should be a fun fight. I think both of these two guys are excellent can crushers. Thing is, I think Alonso Menifield, it's interesting because it's two great can crushers. One's mostly a grappler, one's mostly a striker. Two big old athletic dudes. I actually like these guys a lot. We'll see what happens. We'll see if they really are just can crushers. But back to Vinicius, that one guy that Vinicius lost to, I'm kind of just tapology capping it a little bit. But this guy seems like he's not too bad. Thing is, this fight I haven't researched a whole lot, but I have looked into it enough to know that I think the line is a little bit wide, man, just because I feel like Vinicius has such a big advantage. I feel like someone having such a big advantage shouldn't be, what is he, plus 210 or plus 220 or something like that. Like, I don't know. I don't see it, man. I'd rather take the Brazilian here 100% if I had to bet this fight either way. But I don't know. It's like a 55-45 fight to me. So I think Menifield he's probably going to be athletic and strong enough to stuff the takedowns in the early rounds. And on the feet, I think he might kind of run through Vinicius. So I definitely like this fight to not go the distance. Let me look at the odds on that. It's probably extremely juiced, but doesn't go to decision. Is minus 435, so 150,000%. This is a fight you have to target on DraftKings. Man, I mean, I favor Menifield to win, so I'm probably going to have a lot of Menifield. But then again, that price on Vinicius, he's probably going to be like 7,000, 7,100, maybe even 6,900. So, man, I think Vinicius, if he comes through, he's probably going to get a submission and a lot of advancing and reversal points. So I think you got to have both guys in DraftKings. This is like a gigantic DraftKings fight for me. So definitely going to have a lot of both of them, and we'll just see what happens. I'm looking forward to just sitting back and watching this one. I'll go Menifield first round KO, but those odds should be closer. So moving on to the next fight. Next fight this is a good one, man. This is another line I think might be off a little bit. We got Ariane Lipsky minus 210 taking on Joanne Calderwood plus 175. Some money's come in on JoJo. she was like plus 195, and boy, do I disagree with that. I think Lipsky has a lot of good qualities, like maybe the most finishing instinct I've ever seen in a women's fighter. She is absolutely ruthless, and she even has the technique to go behind it, man. She is a very, very solid athlete, and I was actually thinking about the idea of putting a couple of units on JoJo at such a good price, but ultimately, I think Lipsky is the rightful favorite. Even though I think it's off, I think Lipsky should probably still be around a minus 150, minus 160 favorite here. Obviously, a gigantic step up for her, man. I mean, let's not lie here. She's not exactly going out there and beating the best competition. She's about to go in there and fight a top 10 flyweight in Joanne Calderwood, who has some pretty good damn wins on her resume, especially at flyweight 125 pounds. She is 2-0 with 2 finishes, so that's definitely JoJo's weight class. She's calling herself JoJo 2.0. It seems like she finally found the right gym, the right flow in her life. So I really do think Lipsky's coming in here against the best version of JoJo we've ever seen. So this is such a tough fight, man. I gotta go with Lipsky, just skills alone. I think she's gonna be throwing more in there. She's probably just gonna outpoint JoJo. I don't think she finishes JoJo, but I think over the course of 3 rounds, she'll be landing harder shots, and she'll probably be landing more shots. So it's a very good fight. I don't think people should sleep on JoJo, but I'll go with the newcomer. It's a great women's fight, though, man. I love it.
Yeah, this is definitely one of the most underrated fights in the entire card. I think this is a target for DraftKings too. I feel like you need to target this fight. Some people could disagree, but yeah, Lipsky, I mean, the girl definitely brings, something for 125 that we don't really have, man. She's a finisher, man. I mean, she's violent out there. 9-fight winning streak, dude. I mean, even her last loss was a close split that could have gone either way. She's a brawler, dude. She's got a good chin, man, good pressure. I mean, fast hands. I mean, aggressive. JoJo's, undefeated at 125. JoJo's a good striker, man, for sure. Had a close fight with Calvillo. I think Calvillo definitely won, though. Last fight, though, was ugly, man. I mean, Faria, took her down like a couple times and was controlling her, winning the whole fight, and then JoJo tapped her out. I don't think Faria is good at all. JoJo's been tapped out, 2 or 3 times. I think what's going to happen in this fight is that they're going to be brawling, and Lipsky's going to hurt her on the feet, and I think Lipsky's going to get her out of there, man, on the mat. I think Lipsky's going to tap her out in the first, second round. I really think Lipsky has mad potential. I think JoJo is always going to be a gatekeeper, kind of like a top 10 girl. On the feet, I do think Lipsky is, more technical. I think that she hits harder. They both have good chins. JoJo can take it too, but JoJo kind of just sometimes it's like mental with JoJo, man. I mean, I feel like Lipsky's just going to be in her face and landing the bigger bombs. I think Lipsky has the better ground game too. JoJo doesn't have the best takedown defense, so I mean Lipsky could definitely take it there, but I think she's gonna take it there, man. I think she's gonna hurt her on the feet and she's gonna get her out of there. I think she's gonna hurt her on the feet and get a sub. So I'm gonna go with Lipsky, man, by a first round submission.
One quick thing, you made a really good point about the grappling, man. JoJo has always kind of struggled with grapplers or fighters using a grappling game plan, and Lipsky, I believe, actually just got promoted to a BJJ purple belt, so she's not just a striker. She has a decent ground game, so I guess that's another reason why you probably have to favor Lipsky here, man. So that's a good point about the grappling. She might be better everywhere.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think like the line, obviously, like I think Lipsky should be maybe like. I think should be lined a little more closer because JoJo, has obviously fought and, probably beaten the better competition. I mean, I don't know about beaten, actually, because, but she's beaten some pretty good girls outside the UFC, especially her last fight, man. So, I don't know, man. I think it should be lined a little closer. But I'm not going to bet Lipsky at the current price. But, yeah, I just think Lipsky has more ways to win here. But we'll see, man. JoJo could, she's a good fighter for sure. She's not, a jobber by any means. So next fight, wow, is it my turn?
Yeah, man.
So next fight, we got a good fight here. We got Cowboy Cerrone versus Alex Hernandez. And to be honest, man, I've been going back and forth in this fight. Like this is one of the toughest fights in the entire card for me to call. I feel like most people are picking Alex Hernandez just because they think Cowboy Cerrone sucks. He's old. Cowboy Cerrone, in my opinion, I do think he's on the way out. I do think he's on the decline, but I still think he's good. Like, I don't think he's like, shot. I don't think he's like gonna has one more fight in him by any means. I mean, look what he just did to Mike Perry, man. I mean, I don't know why Mike Perry took him down, but I mean, this guy's ground game is really good. And I know Alex Hernandez went out there and out-grappled OEM, but in my opinion, I'm sure you would agree with me on this. This guy's not going to go out there and out-grapple Cowboy Cerrone. Cowboy Cerrone has the better ground game for sure. Hernandez wants to go out there and play at the grappling. He's going to get tapped out. Even OEM got him in a couple of positions, like Kimura sweep or something, man. So you better watch out, man, if he tries to take him down, because Cerrone's, in my opinion, has a better ground game here. I think on the feet, I think it's close. Obviously Cerrone has problems when he gets pressured because that's Hernandez's game. He's the better athlete. I think he's faster. I think he's going to be pressuring for sure. But, I mean, Cowboy's at 155, man. Cowboy, I mean, he has a really good record at 155. Like, the only guys that beat him are, RDA, former, title fights besides the Masvidal fight. Masvidal fight was at 155, right? Yeah, I think it was.
I think it was at 70.
Oh, it was? That was 155.
I think it was at 70.
Oh, and I don't know. I'm not really sure where it was. But anyways, yeah, Hernandez, man, he's really big for sure. He's a big 155er, but the guy could make 145. The guy's fought at 145 too. I think Cerrone's going to be the bigger guy in there, man. I know Hernandez might have more muscle, but I think Cerrone's going to be the bigger guy. I think Cerrone's going to be the stronger guy. And, earlier in the week, I had Alex Hernandez, man. I thought he was going to go out there and, take care of business in the first round like how he did against Neal. But the more I think about this fight, man, I think the old dog is going to get this done. So I think Cerrone has good striking too, man. I mean, you could say that he's weak to the body. You could say he's a little chinny because he's been knocked out, I think 3 or 4 times. But he's tough as nails, Cerrone, man. He's just not going to go out there and just get, I don't think, slept by Hernandez. And, Hernandez, Cowboys they're not going to be hugging, I don't think. This is going to be a serious fight, dude. And I think Cerrone's going to go out there and, he has good head kicks, good striking, a good jab. And I think if he gets out of the first round, man, I think he's going to take over, man. I think he could actually even take down Alex Hernandez. I think Hernandez might try to take him down, and Cowboy would just, I think just laugh at him and just reverse him. So I'm going to go Cowboy Cerrone, man, by submission. I think he's going to go out there and tap him out, man, in the second or third round. The first round is going to be hairy for sure for all the Cerrone bettors out there. But I just think this old dog, man, has it, man. I still think he's a good fighter. And this is a huge step up, man, for Alex Hernandez, But Neal and OM are good fighters, but now he's fighting a top 5 guy, in my opinion, dude, in Cowboy Cerrone. And I got the old bet here, man. So what about you?
Great fight, man. But first, let me ask you this. So it shows the early prelims are on ESPN Plus. The main card is on ESPN Plus, but these 4 prelim fights are on big ESPN.
Yeah, so they're on Sports Center, the channel that has Sports Center. They're on ESPN.
Just the 4 prelim fights.
Yeah, just 4 fights.
That's weird that they do that. I guess they just do that to promote their app, but I guess that makes sense. But
it's pretty cool.
Yeah, you bring up a great point again about the grappling here, man. If there was belts for MMA grappling, Donald Cerrone is a black belt. Even if there's belts for MMA striking, Donald Cerrone is an MMA striking black belt. Alex Hernandez he's pretty early in his UFC career. Obviously, he's explosive, has big power, but the thing here is, man, I don't want to say it's knockout or bust, but I feel like if Hernandez wins, that's most likely how it's going to go. And I don't exactly want to say if he doesn't get the knockout, then he's definitely going to lose. But I think most likely if he goes out there and tries to get the knockout in this fight, goes, into the deep waters, I just see the more skilled guy being able to put something together and possibly get a finish, especially on the mat, man. I think there's a huge advantage for Donald on the mat. I mean, we all know Cowboy is the kicking machine, but he's a serious grappler, dude. He's been doing it forever, and he's gone out numerous times and submitted good fighters, defensively, offensively. And we saw it at welterweight. I think it was like his first 3 fights at welterweight. It wasn't against the best competition in the world. It was against like Patrick Cote and Rick Story, but Donald Cerrone was going out there and taking down those guys at will. Donald Cerrone, not only does he have the really good grappling and striking, Donald Cerrone could fucking wrestle too, man. So don't completely rule out the fact that Donald could absolutely go and take down Alexander Hernandez. I could see it for sure. But the thing is Donald Cerrone, like he's so he's definitely not shot, but I mean that damage meter, it's getting up there, man. I don't know if he's gonna. If this fight was happening in 2 years from now, I mean, he definitely got to say Alexander Hernandez by knockout. But Donald Cerrone keeps proving to us that he ain't done with this game, and he actually has a lot left. So I think if that shin holds up, he'll probably end up getting a sub victory, even a knockout victory. But I just don't know, man. Hernandez is a little beast, and he could come out and swarm Cerrone. Like, I can't say I'd be surprised at all, but I don't know. I ever so slightly fade Hernandez just because Cerrone's seen better days, and it is what it is. Typically, Cerrone loses to the guys that can come out and smoke him, and Alex Hernandez has all the tools in the world to come out here and smoke Cerrone, but I just don't get overconfident. Don't be too overconfident, Alex Hernandez. Don't disrespect Cerrone because it's absolutely a winnable fight for him. So I think the value's on Cerrone. If I had to take a side with these current betting odds, I'd bet Donald's Cowboy Cerrone, but I'll go with Hernandez. I'll say first round KO, and this is another DraftKings fight, man. Someone's probably getting a finish.
One thing I want to say is, you know what, man? I actually think it is KO or bust for Hernandez. I don't think he's going to be able to win this fight at the second or third round. This guy gassed really bad against OAM. I'll tell you that right now. I mean, this gets in the second or third round, I think Cowboy's going to break him, man. I mean, we've seen Hernandez's cardio, man, a little suspect. We're sure he has a lot of muscle. In my opinion, I just don't see him finishing this fight or winning the decision like late. I think he needs to get it done in the first round because Cowboy's cardio might be one of the best assets of his game. The guy's cardio is legit. I mean, the guy drinks beer and all this stuff during training camp, but his cardio, man, is top in my opinion. So I'm not betting it though, just because his chin. Like, I'm not gonna say he has a terrible chin. The guy is a tough dude, but he has taken a lot of damage. But it's a close fight. That's why I'm not betting it, and I'm not gonna force any more plays. But I am picking Cowboy Cerrone by submission.
Man, if the over and under was set at 2.5, I'd for sure bet the under 2.5 rounds here, probably. The doesn't go the distance actually isn't that bad. -180. That's not bad at all.
I could see Cowboy win a decision for sure, honestly. But I think he could, yeah, man.
I think someone's getting finished.
Cowboy has more volume too. That's another thing. But like Cowboy might have the better striking too. Honestly, man, like he has more tools in the feet. The guy has really good head kicks, good jab. Like I feel like Hernandez pressure, man, is just like one big, asset in his game that hurts Cerrone, man. So we'll see what happens, man.
If this makes sense, I feel like whoever can make this fight their fight is going to make it look relatively easy. Like if Alex Hernandez is able to carefully go in there and swarm Cerrone without any problems and touch that shin, I think he's going to make quick work. I think if Cerrone is able to get it to the mat where he probably wants it, I think he can make quick work down there. So it's a close fight on paper, but I think whoever wins is going to make it look really good.
Look at his last 3 fights. So Cerrone smoked Yancey. He in a loss to Leon Edwards, he looked good. That was a super close fight, by the way. Like I do think Leon won, but Cowboy won 2 rounds, man. So that was a really close 5-round fight. And then Cowboy looked good against Mike Perry. So I think people are sleeping on Cerrone, man, just because he's taking a lot of damage, and he's been knocked out 3 or 4 times. I don't know, man. If this Hernandez guy, he's good. I do think the guy's super talented for sure, but I think it could be a little too much too soon.
So we on to the next one?
Yeah.
So we got, I'm going to let you start with this one because you got the play, but we got Paige VanZant -155 taking on Rachel Ostovich +135. What do you think, man? Tell the people what's up.
Yeah, so I did kind of botch this line because, Ricky bet Paige VanZant too, but, we both thought that VanZant was going to be -200, minus 220. Like, I just did not see people betting Ostovich, but they did. I bet her at minus. I bet VanZant minus 175. You could say this is a close fight, all this. Like, I want to stay away from this, which I get for sure, because, I don't think. I mean, I used to be really high on VanZant. Obviously, I'm not anymore, but I still think she could win fights, obviously. But in this matchup, I think this is a good matchup for her. I think she's better everywhere the fight goes. I think Rachel's a quitter. I think that she has too many things going on in her personal life right now. We don't need to get in that. Obviously, if you know UFC, you know this matchup, you know what's going on. I think VanZant's a way better striker. I think she's way more technical. She's way faster than her. She could definitely just dance around, pick her apart. Great jab. I mean, good head kicks. I mean, she's huge speed advantage here. I think 125 is perfect for her. She was, like killing herself to make 115. She actually looked decent against Jessie Rose Clark, but she broke her hand in the first round. So the fact that she fought throughout the whole fight, won the third round, I mean, that one thing about VanZant that I feel like most people would agree with me with is this girl's not a quitter, dude. The girl is so tough as they come. And I think she has a huge advantage in that department in this fight because when Ostovich gets hit, man, and she gets hurt, she wants a way out. She has 4 losses, okay? She's 4-4. All of her losses are by finish. 2 by sub, 2 by KO. This girl is a quitter in my opinion, dude. So I don't see this fight going the distance. I think VanZant's gonna put her out, man, either on the feet, get a submission. Ostovich, she's a big, 125er. She has some meat on her for sure. But I mean, she could go out there and maybe get a takedown, but I don't see it. Like if she does, I think VanZant's definitely gonna either sweep her and get on top or get right back up. And I think on the feet, she has a huge advantage. So I think Paige is gonna get a finish here. I really do. I actually think this is. I'm sure I'm gonna get shit on this, but I think this is a target, man, for DraftKings in my opinion for Paige. I think she's gonna get a finish and get at least 100 points. So I'm gonna go. I just think this is a mismatch in my opinion, man. I think Paige is better everywhere the fight goes, man. So, and you can't say Paige is chinny either. This girl is a very, very good chin. I mean, I was at the fight against Rose live. That was crazy. She got her ass beat by the champion, but dude, she looked like. I mean, she just looked like she did not want to go away. She definitely won over a lot of fans. So I just think that the old Paige VanZant's gonna show up here and then get a finish. So I got Paige VanZant by I'm gonna go with the knockout. I think she's gonna hurt her on the feet and get a TKO. So I got Paige by a second round KO, the head kick.
Yeah, man. I think you're on the right side here. You and Ricky were right. Paige VanZant opened at minus 210, but money has come in on Rachel Ostovich, and I mean, I guess so. If Paige opened minus 210, would Rachel open at plus 160? I guess maybe just because it is Paige VanZant poking a plus 160 might not be the worst idea in the world, but I favor Paige here, man. I think you brought up a lot of good points. I think for what she is, you're right. She is pretty tough. She's actually decently athletic. She's she just doesn't really have the technique nailed down. I don't think Rachel Ostovich necessarily does either, to be honest, man. I mean, she's 4-4 for a reason. So as much as it was nice to fade Paige VanZant against Rose Namajunas and other good fighters back in the day, I think this is probably a good one for her, man. I think she's skilled enough to go out here and beat a 4-4 Instagram model. So you said most of it, but I think at current odds, I'd go with the favorite, Paige VanZant. I think she. I don't know. There's definitely a chance this could still be an ugly decision, a close split decision, but I'll go with Paige VanZant via 29-28 unanimous decision.
Yeah, one thing I want to say is I just think that her movement's going to frustrate Ostovich, man. VanZant has, good cardio. She's, I just like the way that she dances around for sure. And I think she's going to pick her apart, man. I think she's going to hurt her. And I think when she hurts Ostovich is going to be looking for that door.
Man, I'm really excited to talk about this next fight, bro. Like, this is a really, really good one. I've had my eyes on it for a while. We got Joseph Benavidez, minus 240, taking on Dustin Ortiz, plus 200. Like, dude, I mean, these two guys are both coming off absolutely amazing victories. Dustin Ortiz in his last fight versus the huge prospect. Mateus Nicolau, like, dude, everybody, including myself, was on Mateus Nicolau in that fight. And Dustin Ortiz went out and just, dude, the guy is continuing to show improvements. I know it's crazy to think how long Dustin Ortiz has been in the UFC. I mean, one of the first flyweights, I think when they brought in the division, he was one of the guys they kind of first brought in. He's been in the UFC since 2013. He's put together a pretty good winning UFC record, man. And his last 2 wins have been just nothing short of spectacular. He went out and out grappled a black belt in jiu-jitsu in Alexandre Pantoja, who, in my opinion, top 15 guy. Mateus Nicolau, in my opinion, who, I mean, you could still argue the guy is still one of the best prospects in the division. Top 15 talent for sure. I mean, look what you can't completely wipe away what Mateus Nicolau has done. I mean, look at that fight against John Moraga. I mean, dude, Dustin Ortiz is looking great. I think he's been at that gym now for a couple of years. He's 30 years old. He's in his prime. He's making improvements. He's so well-rounded. He's a really good, quick boxer, like accurate punching, huge power for the division, really good wrestler. He is I can't give enough props in the world to Dustin Ortiz for the improvements he's made. He is I think he's come a long way since the first matchup against Benavidez. It's been almost going on 5 years now since that fight happened, in my opinion. Man, like all the props in the world for Joe B for taking my money on that last fight against Alex Perez. But I think the things that we were saying going into that Perez fight, I don't think those things are wrong. I think Joe B is on the decline. I think even though he is on the decline, I mean, you got to think, I mean, he's what, the number 2 or 3 best flyweight in the world. So he is on a decline, but he's only declining so little. Like he's going from top 2 guy to top 3 guy, top 5 guy. So, I mean, he's still a very, very good fighter, and he is favored here for a reason. I do favor Joseph Benavidez, but I do think this line is very off, man. I think Dustin Ortiz could actually get this done in a couple of different ways. I think it can absolutely go out here and touch the chin of Joseph Benavidez. Like, dude, that fight against Sergio Pettis, like, I was banking on Sergio Pettis to win by decision in that fight. Literally, I had him to win by decision. Sergio Pettis knocks out nobody. Sergio Pettis doesn't hurt anybody. He almost went out there and knocked out Benavidez. Prime Benavidez would have taken those shots like absolutely nothing, but, you know, the dude's slowing down a little bit. I know it's Cejudo, but in my opinion, he got outstruck by Cejudo solidly. He got outstruck by Sergio Pettis solidly. And, you know, I really, truly believe Dustin Ortiz is kind of in the mix there, maybe like a top 7-6 guy. And I think at the very least, he's going to make this fight look a little better than the first fight. I don't think it's going to be quite as dominant. I don't know if he gets it done, but I really think he puts up a way better fight than he did last time. He's got the wrestling in his back pocket as well. You know, he could land a takedown, control at least 2 of the rounds, and it's a fighter on the up versus a fighter on the down, man. So I like Dustin Ortiz as a dog. I think the numbers good on him, but it's a close fight. You know, I'm not going to bet it, but I need some more underdog picks on this card. I'm going to go with Dustin Ortiz to win this fight. And I'm going to say he wins it by a close split decision.
Yeah, I definitely see this fight going with scorecards, but I do disagree with what you said about Ortiz getting some takedowns, controlling Benavidez. Benavidez, I mean, the guy, no one takes him down. Like, this guy's ground game, this guy's takedown defense, grappling's good. I just don't see Ortiz taking him down. If anyone gets takedowns, I think actually Benavidez could get a takedown. I don't know if he does, but I think he has a better grappling. I don't think Dustin's taking him down. Dustin's definitely improved for sure. He's on a 3-fight winning streak against good competition. Sandball's not that good, but Pantoja fight was close. I do think Ortiz won the fight, and then last fight against Mateus, I mean, that was a good knockout win for sure, man. And he was getting a piece up, and then he knocked him out. Yeah, you know, Sergio Pettis definitely hurt him on the feet, but I mean, I don't know, man. That was kind of ring rust. Benavidez didn't fight for like, it was a long way off, and I think he has a good chin. I don't think he's chinny, man. I think Benavidez, you know, has a better striking. I think he's more technical. I think he has more volume. I think he's faster than Dustin Ortiz. You know, Dustin Ortiz has a good chin. He has good striking. He was beating, you know, Brandon Moreno, and then he got dropped with a head kick and got tapped out. That's still in the back of my mind. I just think Joe B, you know, he's beat him the first time. It was a dominant decision. He's beaten the better guys, fought the better guys. I got Joe B here by a dominant decision. I think he's going to go out there and win probably another 30-27. You know, the rounds could be close because Dustin Ortiz has improved, but I just don't think he can beat Joe B. So next, I like the balls though, man. I like the balls because Dustin Ortiz. I mean, he could be a DraftKings play. I mean, I don't think he's gonna win, but I mean, he could be a
Dude,
dog.
I have no problem picking a top 7 guy in really any fight. I mean, he's a talented guy. Everybody it's an MMA. Anybody can win the fight. So, a guy as talented as him, I have no problem picking him in a fight like this.
I don't want to fade Joe B unless I'm betting the guy who we'll be talking about in the main event because in a rematch, I got Cejudo in that fight by a finish, but we'll talk about it another time. So next fight we got Gregor Gillespie versus Yancy Medeiros. This is a great fight. The line is a little crazy because in my opinion, this is definitely a step up, man. I think for Gregor. I think this is the best fighter Gregor's fought in the UFC for sure. Yancy's a good fighter, man. Like, yeah, he gets in a lot of wars and he's taking a lot of punishment. I think one reason why, well, I mean, not taking anything away from Cerrone because Cerrone's a great fighter, but Yancy just took a beating in that fight right before that, man. I mean, that's why Yancy got dropped, man, and just couldn't get back up, man. I mean, he took a lot of punishment versus Cowboy Albert. I still think Cerrone would have whooped him. Obviously, he got the finish, but I feel like if Yancy's chin was still there, like he could have maybe like survived another round. But anyways, yeah, I just think Yancy gets hit way too much. He's talking about going to featherweight. Like what? Like he must be losing all of his muscle, and I don't like that. A guy that used to fight at 170, he's fighting at 155 now. I mean, going back down in weight. Then he's going to go to 145. Like I don't like it. I think Gregor's a top 15 guy. He's going to be a top 10 guy. Could be a top 5 guy. Really good wrestling. Some of the best wrestling in the division. His strikings look really good. I mean, if you watch all of his fights, he just looks better every fight. The Jason Gonzalez fight was a roar, but he definitely was winning that whole fight. Smoked Holbrook. I mean, his striking looked good. The fight against Franca, I mean, really, man, he took a huge knee and then just walked right through it. This guy's cardio, his chin, his pace, his aggressiveness, everything, man, it's just really good. I love everything about Gregor. I think he's going to go out there and get a first-round finish. But I do think that Yancy could definitely make it a firefight for like 4 minutes. It could be a brawl back and forth. But Gregor will get the takedowns on the feet. I think he has the better striking. I do think Yancy is more – I'm not going to say more technical. Yancy is technical, but it is a big step up. It's the best guy Gregor's fought, in my opinion. I think he's better than Pichel, Gonzalez. So, but yeah, I got Gregor by a finish. What about you?
Yeah, I line Gregor Gillespie around a -400 favorite in this fight. Like, thing is, like, he is a very talented fighter. He's a really stud wrestler, and the thing is, he doesn't really get tired either. He has really good cardio, but I don't know. Just why would you want to pay -550 on Gillespie here against a guy who easily is the best fighter he's ever fought? A tough Hawaiian who has more than enough capabilities to give Gregor at least a couple hairy moments in this fight. So, in my opinion, out of all the wonderful times in this 2019, we're going to get the opportunity to bet on a -550 favorite. I think this would not be one of those times, man. I think Yancy's he's a really good, well-rounded, fucking tough dude, and I think if he's able to stuff the first couple takedowns in the first round, I think he's going to be able to land some hard shots on Gregor and give him some problems there. And even on the mat, like I think defensively, Yancy actually has a pretty good guard, and he might be able to make something happen there. But skill-wise, I think Gregor is just a lot stronger. He's probably going to be able to manhandle Yancy, probably get him out of there with a arm triangle choke, I'll say, in the first or second round. But like I said, out of all the spots to bet a -500 favorite, this is definitely not one of my favorites. So I'll go with Gregor, but do not fade Yancy Medeiros at -550. So moving on to the next fight, man. What do we got? We got the co-main. I can't believe this is the co-main event. We got Greg Hardy -500 taking on Alan Crowder +400. See, now this is a -500. I think Greg Hardy should be the biggest favorite on this card. I think he should be a bigger favorite than Yancy Medeiros because, let's be honest, Greg Hardy is fighting an absolute can here in Alan Crowder. Guys, you have no idea how badly I wanted to go into tape and actually find just a couple good qualities about Alan Crowder, but I hate to tell you, I can't really do it, man. I think Greg Hardy kind of comes in here and does to Alan Crowder what he's been doing to the other trash cans he's fighting, and that's quick knockout. I mean, we are talking about a former NFL player, not even just a former NFL player. I mean, I know we'll talk about some former NFL players like Matt Mitrione and some of those guys who were barely in the NFL. Guys, Greg Hardy is a fucking NFL all-star. Like, that dude is – we're talking about serious athleticism. I remember having conversations with my friends back in the day, like 10 years ago, like, dude, what if like some of the NBA and NFL's biggest stars like LeBron James got into the octagon and fought? Dude, we're kind of getting that here with Greg Hardy. We're talking about a serious NFL athlete. The dude is scary in the octagon, man. I take that back. Greg Hardy should not be a minus 500 in this fight. He should be a minus 1,000. So I'm going to have Greg Hardy in probably about 80% of my lineups here. Crowder is fooked. What do you think?
Yeah, I do think Greg Hardy's going to win, but I'm actually more confident in Gregor on DraftKings, to be honest. You know what? I do think Alan Crowder's not that good. I think he's a jobber, but I think he's the best fighter Hardy's has fought for sure. The guy's 9-3 or something like that. Obviously, all of his losses are by KO. You know, 2 of them are against Curtis Blades and Justin Willis. The guy's kind of tough, though, man. If you watch some of his fights, he can take a beating, man. He took some big shots against Donta Mays, I think, on the Contender Series. And, yes, I mean, pretty good grappling, too. Like, I don't think his striking's that bad, but Hardy's just way too athletic for him on the feet. Hardy's going to give no respect. He's going to be in his face. Crowder backs up against the fence. I don't like that at all. So, yeah. I mean, Crowder's a pretty small heavyweight, too. He's like 230. Greg Hardy's going to be like a 266, probably, or 260. I think Greg Hardy's too fast for him. So, I got Hardy as well. I do like him a lot for DraftKings. He's going to be really, like, high-owned and expensive, but I think I like Gregor a little more. Go ahead.
You're right. Crowder is kind of tough, and anything remotely decent I did see from Crowder, skill-wise or just heart toughness, etc. The only time I saw some positive notes from Crowder was against like 3-6 and 2-1 and 7-8 fighters. So it's a bit different here.
You look decent on the Contender Series against Dante Mays. That guy has a pretty good record. That guy's like on a 3-fight winning streak, I think, now too.
Is he?
That guy actually beat Kamaru Usman's brother, who's like a pretty big like prospect. Yeah, so I mean, I think that win was, I mean, not that bad, to be honest.
I don't know. I wasn't impressed.
It was an ugly fight. It was a back and forth fight, but you know, Crowder showed he had more cardio and, you know, took him down, got a ground and pound. I do think Hardy's gonna win.
I just see this being like a sub 1 minute KO.
Could be, man. So next fight, I mean, in my opinion, before we talk about this, the true co-main event should be Cerrone versus Hernandez. That's just my opinion. I'm sure you agree. So next fight, wow, we got the main event. It was my last play of the night, and yeah, pre-tape, man. I had TJ, then I watched tape, and I changed my pick, and I actually bet Cejudo, man. So I got 3 units on Cejudo at plus 175, and the way I see this fight going down, I think it's going to be a really good fight. I love TJ a lot, you know. We actually grew up in the same area, man. So I got nothing for respect for TJ. I have a lot of friends that are friends with him. You know, he's a great fighter, great champion. But I don't like the move to 125. I think he gets hit. Obviously, Cody was winning the last 2 fights until he got caught and got cocky. I think TJ has great movement. I think he has great cardio. He has great technical striking. But he gets hit for sure. He gets cracked, man, some fights. He has a good chin. But I think Cejudo, man, like, wow. Like, when he first came in the UFC, I mean, I thought his grappling was legit. His striking was just not that good. And he turned a corner ever since that Benavidez fight. I know you would agree with me on this. If there wasn't for that point deduction, Cejudo would have won that fight. Wow, for sure. Dude, that was a very good fight. And Cejudo was beating his ass, man. I know Cejudo was getting a little tired in the 3rd round, but Cejudo dropped him in the 1st round. His striking looks so good. His right hand has been looking really good. He actually knocked out Wilson Hayes with that right hand. I think it's the more power in this fight for sure. You know, you could say that TJ has more tools like his head kicks and all that stuff, but, I mean, dude, Henry Cejudo has more power. I think Henry Cejudo his striking is, just as good in my opinion as TJ Dillashaw. And I think, like I just mentioned, I think he has the better power for sure. But yeah, TJ probably has the better movement and the better, what was I going to say, more tools. But Cejudo's fast too, man. Like, it's not like TJ has a huge speed advantage here. Cejudo's really fast, and this is Cejudo's division. TJ's going back down the 125. He has not looked good in pictures at all. I think Cejudo's going to give him a rude awakening here, man. Cejudo has the better grappling too. I don't care if TJ was a D1 wrestler. Cejudo's a freaking Olympic. I'll tell you this right now. I don't care if TJ took down Dominic Cruz. TJ will get taken down in this fight, I think, for sure. Cejudo just took down DJ like 5 times. And I watched that fight about 3 times. I honestly don't agree with everyone on Twitter, but if you guys really think Cejudo lost that fight, I just don't see it. Cejudo won that fight against TJ 3 rounds for sure. Honestly, okay, I don't think people agree with me on this, but I actually think Cejudo could have won 4 rounds, to be honest. But I think 3 rounds is definitely, more clear. But yeah, I just think he has the better grappling. I don't know if he's going to be able to control TJ, but he could. He controlled DJ, and that's what won him the fight. He actually, I think, hurt DJ in the 5th round, too. And he had some good striking stages in that fight, but it's not the grappling how I think he's going to win this fight. I think he's going to get him out of there with that right hand. I think he's really going to – I think TJ's going to – what's the word I'm looking for? Disrespect him, I think, for sure. I think TJ's going to fight him with his hands down, and he's going to get caught, man. And I think Cejudo's going to get him out of there, man. And yeah, Cejudo's going to be the 125, 135-pound champ. And I just can't believe I'm doing this because I just was not that impressed with Cejudo when he first came up. But when I watched the tape, man, wow, dude. I was really impressed with Cejudo's, man, especially in the striking. His striking has looked really, really, really good. So one more thing, too, I just remembered right now I saw in my notes. This guy's really good to the body, too. He has really good kicks to the body, good, striking the body. He doesn't care about kicking either. You're not going to take down Cejudo. I don't care. I'm telling you right now, there's no way TJ gets him down. So, but anyways, I can see him hurting TJ at the body for sure. So, I got Henry Cejudo, and I'm going to go out. I'm going to make a statement right here in this podcast. I'm going to go with a first round knockout.
Oh man.
What about you?
It's a bold statement, my friend. I would say that betting on Henry Cejudo at plus 175 in his own weight class, as talented as a fighter he is, I think that's a decent bet that I definitely don't fault at all, my friend. So plus 175 when a guy is talented on Henry, I mean, I definitely dig it, but I do think TJ Dillashaw is rightfully favored here, man. I think I don't know. I think he's just – I don't want to say he's better everywhere. He's definitely not a better wrestler. Henry Cejudo is a serious wrestler, but I don't know, man. When it comes to the striking, I just feel like TJ is going to be I don't know. I feel like a lot in that Henry DJ fight. I just feel like I don't know how much DJ really wanted in that fight, man. And I definitely don't want to take anything away from Henry Cejudo. He put on an excellent performance, and I agree with you. Henry Cejudo definitely won that fight against DJ. I can't believe people are saying otherwise. I scored a 3-2 for Henry. Thing is, man, I think a lot of you're not really doing it, but I think a lot of other people are looking way too much into that tough weight cut for TJ Dillashaw down to 125. And yeah, it is the first time he's doing it as well. But people can't forget this is a seriously tough weight cut for Henry Cejudo too, arguably probably just as hard as TJ Dillashaw's cut. I can probably guarantee you that they probably walking around, they probably weigh about the same, maybe TJ a couple pounds more, but don't get it twisted. It's a very tough cut for both guys, and I kind of would prefer if this fight happened at like a 130-pound catch weight, but it's definitely adds to the fuel that they're fighting for one of their belts. And it's interesting, man. I know Ariel Helwani was talking about it, kind of saying that this fight is like the deciding factor of the flyweight division. Basically, if Henry Cejudo defends the 125-pound belt, basically he's beaten DJ, he's beaten TJ. I mean, you kind of got a star there down at flyweight, so all the reasons in the world to keep the division. But if TJ Dillashaw goes down there and takes the belt from Cejudo, moves back up to 135, I mean, that kind of kills the division. So really, this fight has all kinds of stipulations, and Dude, I'm really giddy about it. Like, this is a great first main event of the year. This is such a good fight. I remember, I think it was 2016. I think it was the first card of the year that year, or one of these years. I get it all mixed up. But Dominic Cruz versus TJ Dillashaw was one of the first fights of the year that year. And I kind of compare it to this, man. It's kind of like a little guy super fight. And it's good, man. Champ versus champ. I tend to think TJ should probably be like around a minus 170 favorite in this spot, in my opinion. I think probably he's got the movement to not let Henry Cejudo set up the takedown. So I think the majority of this fight's probably going to take place on the feet. I think both guys' chins will hold up, and over the course of 5 rounds, I think TJ Dillashaw will land the harder shots, and I think he'll land more shots. So I'm going to go with the snake in the grass, TJ Dillashaw, to become a 2-weight champion. We're about to see. It's so crazy that we went all these years without 2-weight champions, and then all of a sudden you get Connor, you get DC, you get Nunes, and now you might get Dillashaw. So I'm going to let you make any last-minute points you want to make, but you're more confident than I am. I do not have my money on this fight, but I'm going to go with Dillashaw. It's a good one.
Yeah, I don't think like the speed advantage is like that high, man, for Dillashaw. I think people are gonna be surprised, man. The Cejudo's really fast. I think it's gonna be really close speed wise because
I
I
think
feel like a lot of
more of a footwork advantage for Dillashaw. I think he's going to be able to create the necessary angles, and I think he has the overall higher striking IQ.
yeah, but you agree with me that Cejudo has the more power though, right? I think that's what's gonna win Cejudo the fight. I think he has more power.
It's close. Dillashaw hits hard, man.
He does, yeah, he does for sure. But he also gets hit a lot too. So the fight with Cruz, like I don't think he won that fight. Like a lot of people are saying he got robbed. He didn't win that fight. He tried to go for
Cruz
the
won that
knockout,
fight.
man, too much. Huh?
Cruz won that fight.
Yeah, Cruz won that fight. A lot of people thought he like got robbed. I don't. He did not win that fight, man. So, and people don't forget like a Sunsao, who's a very very good fighter. We're gonna talk about him the next card. He took down Dillashaw too. So I think Cejudo's gonna take him down, man. I really do. But yeah, that's a great fight. So yeah, man. So go on Kelton's channel, the fight game. We're probably gonna do our recap for that probably the day after. I'm assuming maybe a couple days after that. But yeah, man. So we'll be back in a week for sure for the Brazil card. I mean, that card's stacked. I mean, there's some really good fights that just got actually one really good fight just got announced. One of my favorite fighters in the UFC. I think I'm like 3-0 on him betting wise. David Tamer against the Bronx. It's a great fight. I can't wait to talk about that fight. And I mean, after that card, because we got I think we have a 1-week break, right? A 1 or 2 week break for that card. After that, we have UFC like every Saturday, man, for like a while. So that's what I like. I don't like the breaks. I like that every Saturday. Keep us on our toes.
Yeah, man, for sure.
So one more thing before we go. Let's do a recap on our bets. So I got 3 plays. I had Sandhagen. I had 3 units on Sandhagen at plus 180, but that got canceled because Lineker. I got 4 units on VanZant at minus 175. I got 4 units on Neal at minus 150, and I got 3 units on Cejudo at plus 175. And new, the double champ. So what about you?
Yeah, man, I got the 5-unit max bet on Jeff Neal for around minus 150 average odds. I have 4 units on Randy Rude Boy Brown minus 235, and then I have 3.5 units on Tay Edwards at plus 105. If I'm making any more plays, adding any more money this week, I'd say it'd probably be a little more on Tay Edwards, but I might just stick with what I got. We'll see.
Yeah, man. So let us know in the comments below, everybody. Who you guys got in the main event, who you guys got in every fight. Who's your favorite fight? What's your favorite fight of the night? If the 2 fights that got canceled, if they have not canceled, but they find late replacements, I'll get Kelton's pick and we'll put my pick. We'll put it in the timestamps for sure. So yeah, man. I hope everyone cashes unless you're going against me, unless you're going against Kelton. And we're going to have a big 2019, man. We're going to definitely change some stuff up. We're definitely going to have make some moves. We're definitely going to have some people on for sure. And another thing too, like we've been talking about it for sure, but we're gonna try to get some fighters on here, man. Either to do some interviews or just talk fights. So, one fighter I want to get on here really bad. Who actually think I could make it happen for sure is I'm sure some people will probably be like, "What? There's no way." Is Tatiana Suarez, dude? This girl actually goes to the same gym that I go to, 24 Hour Fitness, and I got a lot of friends that train with her in Muenya, so I actually think it could happen for sure. She seems like a really nice girl. We'll see what happens. I've seen her at the gym. I mean, she's pretty intense. I almost like just died just going up to her. So we'll see what happens. Maybe we'll try to get Jalen Turner on too. Another guy who I'm really high on, and he's going to absolutely dissect Alex Gorgees. Spoiler alert. But yeah, so later, guys, and we'll be back in a week.
Thanks for watching, guys.